Welcome back to Shadows Over Loathing. I said that weird. Shadows Over Loathing. In the last episode, we did some miscellaneous side quests around Porkham, and now we are heading to the Big Moist, a swamp north of Porkham. And beginning Chapter 4, Swamped. No point in walking out of the swamp when there's a perfectly good bus stop right there. I guess you got me there. You wouldn't trust this rickety old shelter to protect you from a single raindrop. It's a notice board. See what there is to notice. There's a poster from the local tourist bureau advertising something called Mudhenge. Apparently it's the biggest henge in the county. Check the board for anything else of interest. Another poster grabs your attention. A missing Tom Chapman, inquire at Largemouth Bass & Sons. The face of a teenage boy is circled in an attached photograph. A portrait of the boy and his elder male relatives, each holding a largemouth bass proportionate to his own height. There's a similar poster right beneath it. Missing, Kathy Tracy, inquire at Largemouth Bass & Sons. What is going on at Largemouth Bass & Sons? You know what? Make a missing poster for Charles. While you don't have paper with which to make a poster, you could write Charles's name on the two that are already there. Get wrecked, Tom Chapman. Charles Wallace. Missing Charles Wallace, inquire at Largemouth Bass & Sons. Great, perfect work. Better hoof it over to Largemouth Bass & Sons, though. I'm hoofing. Anything else to notice? I already noticed everything worth noticing. The dirt road becomes really more of a barely functional swamp path by the end here. You want to wander aimlessly through a fetid swamp? You know it! Alright, so we got multiple mystery places to go, but I'm going to hit Radio Shack first, because I know what I'm doing at Radio Shack. It's only just occurring to me as we walk through here that it doesn't mean Radio Shack like the now defunct company. It means like a shack that is a radio station. I got it now. Your slog through the swamp is interrupted by an unfortunately familiar face.
There you are, dearie. How nice to see you again, although I would have wished for a more festive setting. But I'm afraid that this can't wait for the winter snow.
Ah, geez, not you again.
Me again. Dark Noel, at your service.
You'd be doing me a service by leaving me alone.
Now, don't be such a Grinch. I have presents for you.
What's a Grinch? Wait, did you say presents?
That's right. Painful retribution and Yuletide curses.
Huh.
It was very clever of you, hiding in the Institute, all warm and cozy behind the Dean's wards where I couldn't get to you. But now that you're near the source of our power, it's time for me to deck your halls, if you get my meaning.
I'm just looking for my uncle. I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know anything about the Dean or your plans or those weird dreams or any of it. She lays a finger aside of her nose, and her eyes start to glow red. And green. Swell. Alright, we're fighting. Hit him with the spray and pray, Molly. Alright, everybody get sleazed! Everybody get sleazed! How much HP do you have left? Well, the only shadow creature remaining is you, so I'm not as worried about you anymore. You're going to hit Molly Buttons. Do I have anything that would reduce her mysticality? Yes. Now you can only do a lot less damage. Cold attack. Hit him with the spray and pray, Molly. Nice job, Noodle. Stilton splatter. Heal Molly Buttons. I'll let you die to poison. Oh, I mean, no I won't. Get spooned.
This is far too unjolly for my taste.
You won! Noel scuttles away with it.
You haven't seen the last of me,
Or some such cliche. Nice. Radio Shack. Property of WGCR. Keep out. Alright, that's Molly Buttons. Somebody's old campsite, and it looks trashed. Investigate. Amidst all the garbage strewn around, you find a shiny 7/8 combination wrench with CW painted on the side. You got Charles's wrench. That's strange. Obviously this belongs to Charles, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who'd lose one of his tools carelessly, nor the kind of guy who'd leave trash around his campsite. You look a bit more carefully and discover weird tracks in the mud. Big, clawed bipedal tracks. Maybe Gatorman tracks? And there's a spot where some kind of scuffle clearly happened. Ah, geez, well that tears it. Charles Wallace must have gotten kidnapped by Gatormen. Maybe he dropped the wrench on purpose to attract your attention. Hopefully you can find him soon. Alright, you learned everything I'm going to learn from this. Hey game. What's happening? Okay, the game froze there, but it stayed recording, so I guess it's fine. Alright, these bricks have been inexpertly mortared together. Pry them apart. Ah, those bricks were there to cover up the fact that this brick was missing. The lamest conspiracy ever. Well, that's not necessarily helpful, but we sure did it. Alright, reach into the shadow pocket. You stick your hand into the hole, grab the first thing your fingers brush against, and yank it back out. Shadow beer. Shadow pocket vanishes with an otherworldly pop. There's a little tree here. Door appears unlocked. Molly Buttons. There's a couple of pieces of tape stuck to one of the bricks here. Remove the tape. The 2 holes you've opened in the walls are letting swamp water in, and also out again. You might expect them to cancel each other out, but I guess not. Fluid dynamics are a mystery to me. There's some guys hanging out here looking stoic and cool, and also a gator man with more than the usual allotment of teeth. Approach them. Hi, who are you guys?
We are radio technicians.
Why are you standing here in the dark?
Why not? Is it radio? There is nothing to see.
Well, you got me there. That machinery looks weird.
Are you speaking of the battery units that appear to be powered by outer space, or some form of negative energy, or something like that?
Yeah, that's strange, right?
They are not standard issue, 'tis true.
So what?
I cannot tell you any more about them.
Aw. Is that a gator man? Oh, have you not seen a gator man yet? Sorry, it's hard to keep track. These are the guys Jessica mentioned, and they're pretty much what you'd expect from the name Gatorman. They're intelligent, upright walking alligators. They have tough, scaly skin, lots of teeth, and pissy attitudes about everything that they aren't already eating. They especially hate intruders, and are the second biggest reason that this swamp isn't a popular tourist destination. The first being, it's a swamp. Huh, okay. Hey, about this water.
What about it?
I just wanted to point out that it isn't stagnant. It's flowing from one side of the room to the other.
Ah! Running water? One of our several very common weaknesses.
Water burning? Irony terrible.
The vampires make for the door, but get in each other's way and dissolve into ash that is quickly washed away. They were vampires? Sure didn't realize that. I was just being a troublemaker. There's nothing on the table. I guess it looks cooler than to just stand around a table than arbitrarily around the room. Were those guys sharing one bed? Wait, why isn't it a coffin? Wow, this thing looks pretty cool. It also looks lightweight. Grab it. You carefully pocket the Zabby orb thingamajig. Oh, it would look cool in my room. There's a to-do list here with a single entry. Guard the radio equipment. You erase the check mark. Apparently this machine is powered by evil? That's weird. You don't know what this console does, but if it's any consolation, nobody really expects you to. Hook up Rufus's gadget. You plug in Rufus's gadget, and the console starts emitting a different series of beeps than it was emitting before. Huh. Restroom. It isn't important to look good if you're on the radio, so this sink has a first aid kit instead of a mirror. See what's in there? The radio people are probably saving this stuff in case anyone ever invents video and they have to go to war. Rhino balm. Gauze pad. What is a rhino balm? The sink is now only capable of second aid. Oh, it increases your muscle, and it's a potion. Interesting. Flush a toilet, thankfully devoid of any broadcast features. Flush it. Hooray! Which means I now have enough XP that I could do this. But I don't know that that's actually the best call. I think, actually, it would be a better call to read some of my books. I'm gonna improve that one. You read the epilogue, and you're glad you did. It describes even stinkier cheeses in the main books. You wrinkle your nose so hard at the thought of them that your nose knocks the book into a nearby sewer grate. Very stinky. You've already forgotten more than most people will ever know about kitchen cleanliness, but if you read this book again, you're pretty sure you can forget the rest. Alright, well... You read the book again and forget everything you ever knew about kitchen cleanliness, including where you left the book you just read. Fondue Deluge is now more powerful. I have 39 XP. I'm so close to upgrading one of these, not that one. That's fine. Alright, so Radio Shack is solved. Let's go see Mudhenge. I'm curious.
Hist! Get an eyeful of those two big palookas over there.
Hist? Malia points out two burly men dressed in leather and furs, burying the body of a dead gatorman. Well, considering the swampy ground, they're less burying it and more just covering it in mud. They look up in surprise as Molly saunters over nonchalantly.
What's the dope, Bruno? You fitting a lizard with a Chicago overcoat?
Uh-oh. Nah, doll, it ain't like that.
Ain't it? My peepers ain't. Aw, geez, kitty, come look at this.
Alright. You take a closer look at the body of the gatorman before it disappears in the mud. He's dressed in some kind of uniform, with an official-looking cap and epaulets, and a big canvas bag.
These two mugs must have gone and blipped a mailman. That's a caper that'll bring the G-men down on you like a ton of bricks.
No, look, we didn't...
Ha! Tell it to Sweeney. But don't flip your wig, sugar. We ain't pigeons, and we won't rat you boys out to the flatties.
I appreciate that, miss. We've set up something of a trading post here for leather goods and the like, if that tickles your fancy. Alright. The two men retreat to the clearing while you confer with Molly.
Ooh, a leather store. Let's go and have a look-see.
Leather jackets aren't exactly my style.
Maybe not, kitty, but a gator-skin handbag is always the Ritz.
Alright, we're going there now, I mean. And we'll go see Mudhenge in the next episode. No, that's not what I meant. This man observes you with monk-like serenity. Hi there. Looks like you set up quite the trading post here in the swamp. The other man shakes his head. Paul can't speak. Can't or won't? Don't. How'd you become mute, Paul? No, that's a very personal question. Sorry. It ain't a problem. It's just a hobby of mine to make observations on the nature of questions. Basically, Paul lost his tongue in a poker game. That's awful. Back home we play a strip poker high stakes, so not at all. Can we trade? That is a pretty good potion. I already have 2 crowbars already. I might need a pickaxe. A roll of duct tape to add physical armor to a hat? Aw, man. Aw, man. I want condensed swamp gas, but I want this roll of duct tape even more. Hunter's beans, a veritable hill of them. A sack of genuine leather. Open it. It's empty. It's only made of genuine leather. It does not contain genuine leather. The ambiguity is clear now, and the person responsible for the original description has been sacked. That took me a second. Careful of him, or he might tan your hide.
Something to say about the dead gator? Swear I didn't know he was a mailman. Would never intentionally hunt a mailman.
I never accused you of killing a mailman.
Ah, heck. Me and my big mouth. He was in my way, you understand. Had no idea he was a mailman. Never would have touched a mailman if I'd known. And my brother, he had nothing to do with it, understand? I swear it.
What's wrong with killing a mailman?
Listen to yourself. Can tell you ain't a hunter, all right. Most any species is fair game for hunting, but mailmen are protected by international treaty. Last hunter I know who hunted a mailman got pulled up by the International Criminal Court and mailed to Mars.
Is he okay?
Obviously he ain't okay. Don't joke with me. That's the nightmare scenario for a hunter.
Getting mailed to Mars?
Sends shivers down my spine, it does.
Who are you?
Me? Ain't much to my story. I'm a hunter, named John Leathers, and if you can't tell from the accent, I'm from Albion. As a toddler, I hunted small game like mosquitoes and gnats, then moved on to foxes and bulls and such as I grew up. I like the game over here, but I got my eye on the greatest hunt of all.
Humans?
Big picture. I'd like to build a ladder to heaven so I can hunt the dinosaurs. That's more of a 5 to 10 year plan, though.
I don't think that's how either ladders or heaven works, but I guess it's good to have a dream. Wouldn't it be more practical to build a time machine?
No, that just sounds ridiculous.
John wipes his brow with the blade.
Boy, never been asked so many questions before. You can talk the talk, alright, but what about hunting the hunt? I got work that needs doing, but I ain't going out while they're searching the swamp for the side who killed that mailman. They'll find me, I'm dead. You don't have to be a Leatherman to know which way the wind blows.
What are you asking me exactly?
Working on something real important. A project. For that, I need 5 gator hides. Even know a place you might find them. Scoped it out myself. Couldn't be easier unless it was a smaller number of gator hides.
Okay. What's this project you're talking about?
Not so fast. Need to know I can trust you first.
I better be going. Oh, I guess I accepted the quest.
Wouldn't go in there if I were you.
Why?
Might not like what you see.
Alright, future me can figure out what's in there then. For now,
Bye-bye.